Williams. All right, we have some guests tonight, and we'll start at the top. Tonight we have Sandra Williams, who is the Director, State Government Affairs for Northeast Ohio for Charter Communications, and Emil Semester is also from Charter Communications, and so we will turn the floor over to you folks right now.
All right, would you like us to stand or
Please, you can do whatever you feel comfortable with.
Stand, sit,
All right.
cartwheels, whatever makes you happy.
All right. Good evening, Chairman McCune, Trustees Troy, Ann, and Kavanaugh. My name is Sandra Williams. As the Chairman said, I am the Director of Government Affairs for Charter Communications, doing business as Spectrum. Charter Communications is the parent company of Spectrum. Joining me today is Emil Semester, who's over there. He's the Manager of Construction. We are present before you this evening to discuss Charter Communications' acquisition of Altice USA in Auburn Township. Charter Communications is a leading broadband connectivity company and cable operator serving more than 32 million customers in 41 states throughout the United States. Charter serves more than 2.8 million customers in nearly 2,100 Ohio communities, and we employ over 6,500 people. Charter products include internet, home phone, video, and mobile telephones. Spectrum Internet is fast, reliable, and it's powered through our rich fiber broadband network and able to deliver up to 1 gigabit of speeds. We continue to upgrade our technology so that our customers have the best products and speeds. Charter Communications announced in 2023 a nearly $1.25 billion investment in Ohio through its company-wide network evolution project and broadband expansion commitment. The investment will enable the delivery of symmetrical gigabit and multi-gigabit speeds across the state and other customer benefiting projects. Funded 100% by Charter, the company is investing another $500 million in a network evolution project. We are also upgrading to DOCSIS 4.0, which enabled us to offer symmetrical multi-gigabit speeds over our hybrid fiber coaxial network. Spectrum is excited about the Altice acquisition. We currently have 541 passings in Auburn Township, and we pay a 5% franchise fee, which in 2024 amounted to a little over $15,000. With the acquisition of Altice, we will acquire an additional 412 residential and business customers. The transaction will encompass cable assets and applicable video service authorizations. And the deal was finalized in December 31st or on December 31st of 2024. Through our construction team led by Emil and his team, we have been working on design, engineering, and construction of the cable system to integrate it into the Spectrum network. Most of that work has already been completed, and none of the work impacted any of your current customers. We are now at the stage where customers are beginning to be switched over to the Spectrum network. We began sending out letters to current customers or current customers of Altice. We sent them a welcome letter. They're the first group of customers who will be transitioned over to the Spectrum network. Those letters went out on October the 17th. We will also, at least 30 days before they are expected to be cut over, reach out to those customers. We will then send a second reminder notification letter 20 days before they are cut over into the Spectrum network. After the initial mailing, our team will be calling customers to schedule installs of their new equipment necessary to receive our service. They cannot get internet or cable with any of the old equipment they have. Small group of customers will be notified continuously for the next few months about these upcoming changes, with an expected completion date of December 22nd, 2025. This concludes our testimony. Emil and I will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Well, that was an awful lot of information you just gave us there, Sandra, so
Well,
let me
thank
try
you.
to break it down a little bit.
Right?
And did you buy Optima? Is that Optima?
Altice.
but not
So,
Optima.
Optima Altis, it was first Suddenlink and then it went to Optima Altis.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is Altis, so if I have Optima, I'm now gonna be Suddenlink.
Yes.
Star
And-
Cable, Gene.
Right,
That's
Star
what
Cable
it started.
that I signed up many years ago.
That's when it started.
So Emil's the construction person, so Emil, if you wanna come on up,
Yeah.
or?
So yeah, the acquisition, again, thank you all for having us. The acquisition of Altis as Spectrum and Charter. Charter, Altis kind of operates under, marketing is under Optima Altis. So with that transition,
The bill comes in Optima, that's why.
yes, correct. So that is the parent company and that's who we purchased the asset from, which used to be Suddenlink at one point.
And is that you that are putting up all these?
Yes, so
Fiber
it
optic lines
looks a
all
little
over?
messy. Yes, it looks a little messy right now, but I guarantee it will look a little better tomorrow and the day after. So right now, we're actually stringing some fiber optic lines along with upgrading the existing infrastructure.
So if I heard Sandra right, so there's a lot of Optimum customers here in this area. So are you saying the box that I have for my TV from Optima is now gonna be obsolete? And you're gonna replace those with new boxes?
Yeah,
Is that
it
what you're
will be a
saying?
different.
So if you mailed out the letters on the 17th,
Mhm.
today's the 20th, so I didn't get one yet, so
Yeah.
we're gonna get them probably this
Yeah.
week.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now we're gonna have high
High-speed broadband.
speed?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so you'll have the state of the art. I know some of your neighborhoods within Auburn Township are already serviced by Spectrum. A big one especially is Auburn Lakes, that's currently serviced by Spectrum. So no effects will happen there, it will continue to operate as it is today.
Okay.
But it's the true Altis customers that are not on the Spectrum network that are upgrading.
My question is, and this is going back to, I think, 21, and it was Spectrum, I think, that came in and were applying for the Ohio grant to expand to the nether regions of Auburn.
There was a federal bill in
Right.
21, I think it was, that, yeah, we filled out a bunch of questionnaires on
Right.
that.
And we heard that, Spectrum had gotten it, and that they would be implementing. So is this all part of that?
That's in conjunction to that. So the areas that wasn't for part of Altis, for example, in some parts of Altis, they got federal grant to upgrade to some of those because they weren't at the speed that they needed to be. But it's kind of a mix of both, so.
And so there were portions of Auburn, Mr. Kavanaugh's
Yeah,
house for
that was
one.
my question.
Go ahead, PJ.
I was one telephone pole outside of the physical plant, that's what they called it, the physical plant. I was one telephone pole away, and where I built my house, and there's two new houses across the street from me, and Optimum, Altis, Star Cable, whatever it was, would not string that extra pole for 3 customers.
Yeah.
Can I get a little bit better service now?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
You'll come to get used to the Spectrum. Right?
Are those of us that were outside the physical plant, and really, Nancy takes hundreds of calls up here over the
Oh, yeah.
years.
Nancy
Are
and
they
I are
gonna-
great friends.
Are they gonna be notified that it's available?
Yes, that is
Okay.
the intent. Once the
Okay.
plant is upgraded and once it's available to all the customers.
So will this be available then to every household in Auburn?
So right now, if it's serviced by Spectrum, it will continue to operate as it is. If it was serviced by Altis, yes, we would have captured that address.
Okay, and what if it wasn't serviced by anybody?
Which again is Mr. Kavanaugh.
That's my question, yeah.
So if it wasn't serviced by anyone and we walked it out and picked up that address as a passable address, then it would become serviceable once it's done. And if you do have a list of those addresses, I'll be happy to take those back with me and just confirm and return.
We filled out, when that federal money was going on, and Ohio got a chunk of it, and then they divvied it up at the state. We filled out several questionnaires as to coverage and what was available in the township, and I'm sure that's how the state
Yeah.
Now, one thing-
awarded what they did.
That was also,
So that information's here.
Okay.
not to cut you off, you all did write a letter of support for us for OBEG round 2.
We did.
And that's the money at the state. So first of all, thank you for writing that letter of support. I can go back to see if you are a part of the grant that the state just awarded a few months ago, and see if there's anything in Auburn Township with more background too. And I thought Nancy.
Now, one thing I've personally been complaining about is I just have Windstream, just the lowest budget cable or internet. And now when they ran the high-speed internet down Munn Road, right past my street, and my street's still got like the 30-year-old copper phone lines in it, and that's all they've got. So we get the high-speed stuff going down there, it's like, but I see that you're already got flags up and down through my street, and you're actually running the real
Yeah.
fiber optic and the upgraded cable down to, and you're doing that to all the developments?
Yeah, so if the development had Altice coax in it, we would be running new lines in those developments.
Underground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And not, as far as Windstream go, obviously, underground work takes a little bit more effort to get that work done. So they may have gone through, did their aerial work, bypass the underground, and plan to circle back to handle that piece.
You know, to say that the township residents are, I can give you some stories about our road department, we're happy with the previous Optimum Suddenlink. That would not be true. We've got several places where those cables are actually strung, believe it or not, through culvert pipes, you know, that they get damaged, you know, when you
Yeah.
install something that way, it's
Yeah, that's
subject
not-
to harm.
Yeah, that's not our installation method at all.
Are we gonna fix those?
So
'Cause there's a
those-
lot of those out there.
Yeah, so if those are out there and it's part of the coax plant, that coax plant will be abandoned at some point. And if there's specific location where we need to return and actually physically cut those
Usually it's
out.
deep in subdivisions
Yeah,
that something
yeah.
happened, and that was the quickest way to fix it.
So
Yeah, exactly.
when everything's
That's
up
a
and running,
temporary-
what kind of, what's the maximum speed that would be available to customers?
The max speed as far as download is 1 gig. Upload on the coax plant, it's,
It's 20%, 20 upload speed. But as I said, with the investment Spectrum is making right now, with that network evolution, the speeds will be symmetrical, and at some point, they're gonna go up to 10 gigabits up and down. So,
So it's a smidge better than the 30.2 meg I've got now.
yeah, yeah.
They said it was 50-day live, but by the time it got through the extension cords to my house, it down to about half.
Yeah, yeah, that we can guarantee that the speed will be much better than 30 megs.
Now, if you're in a development that has the Optimum or whatever, but you've elected to take Dish or something like that, will that potential customer be notified that?
Yeah, so once we, once we light up the neighborhood, there'll be marketing information that will be sent out to those customers potential customers.
Yeah,
Do you have a map of those developments at all and everything?
Yeah,
Where it's going?
Yeah, we have our own database as far as the mapping database that, from a design perspective. But there's pretty much a good number of those neighborhoods, as the gentleman here mentioned that he's seen flags within his neighborhood. That's driving some of that activity.
Gene, should we bring up Fox 8?
Why is it Fox 8, a local channel, does not work here? You get that, what is that called?
It
when
just pixelates.
Pixelates
or
the whole
freezes.
field,
Oh.
freeze frame,
And
just
that's-
on that, just on
Yeah,
channel 8.
one
And
channel.
that's on the Altice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's them or if it's Optimum.
Yeah.
could just be
I have
channel
that.
8 too.
Yeah, I have that Fox on my home and I don't see that pixelation, so I suspect it's probably a system issue here that's triggering.
Yeah.
See what happens when they run it through.
Well, this is kind of interesting.
If it's still pixelating after you guys are done, we're calling you.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I'll leave you with my business card. You can call me personally.
We'll all want that card.
and so for any other problems you have for residents who see wires outside of the ground, or if there's anything else going on in the community, as the government affairs representative, I'm the person that you reach out to. So feel free to reach out to me with any problems that the residents or businesses cannot get resolved through the normal process. And you can call Emil directly, as you said, or I can get to Emil for you, so,
So you can leave your card too, right?
yes, definitely. So, yeah, we're here to please, we're here to make sure you're happy, we want every resident to be happy, we're hoping that every customer of Altice becomes a customer of ours, but if they don't want to, that is totally up to them.
Well, I think this is kind of exciting. I mean, I've watched you guys running the lines, and I just figured it was Optimum. I didn't even know this deal took place. So I'm sure a lot of people here, do a lot of people here have Optima? Nobody? You're kidding. Okay, just me then, I'm happy.
Well, just know that it will become available and it will be Spectrum.
I
Just
read
know,
the,
Spectrum is the best, so you should come on over.
well, it was very hard to get cable here. I can tell you in the early nineties, when I was on the board then, we were trying to get cable in here. And Star Cable at that time was the only one that would even look at very small townships like us. Even though Spectrum was already in Bainbridge next door, they would not come
Early
in here.
90s. This was
Early
early
90s,
90s.
yeah. So, yeah, that's exciting that we're gonna get high-speed internet and everybody's gonna be taken care of. Like I said, this is pretty news to me. I didn't know that transaction even took place, so that's exciting. I wish a reporter was here today to.
Yeah, I had a neighbor across the street that had 4 kids in high school, or 8th grade on up to senior year, during the COVID nonsense, doing everything from home. As I said, that Suddenlink was not available because it was stopped a telephone pole over. This guy ended up paying it. I got ears full from him. $200 and some a month for AT&T, so he had enough ability to have all the, 3 or 4 people online at the same time.
What their number?
These people need to be notified, because I think he's still dropping that kind of money over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
There
we'll
were a
definitely
number of
market
people,
those.
especially with home businesses, they were running both Windstream and Suddenlink at the time, because one was faster, but it wasn't that reliable, and it went down. They had like one repairman somewhere in Kentucky that would have to come up here and fix it. Would be, you'd have to wait a month, so they had to have the other services as backup. And it hasn't been much fun here.
I just read in the Wall Street last week that TiVo went out of business. I have a TV with TiVo on it. I didn't even know they went out of business, so there you go.
And our headquarters, Emil, is in Streetsboro, right?
Yes, we are located in
You don't have to
Streetsboro
come
as
from
far as our
Kentucky. You can find
regional
Emil,
office.
right?
It was West
Yeah, it's a
Virginia.
strange
West Virginia is where we.
Our local pet center is in Mentor. We have a pet center in Mentor.
And I'm right in Cleveland
Yes.
Heights.
Okay,
So,
so you're close.
yes.
Well, if you leave us your cards, that would be great. Is there anyone in the public that would have a question? Yes, sir.
I've got a couple. Your fiber optic network is all gonna be above ground hung from telephone lines?
Combination of both.
Oh, it's gonna be a mix,
Yes.
okay. And your source electronics for the network, the electronics driving it all, is going to be located where? Is
So-
that from Bainbridge or?
Yeah, so for this location, it would be coming out of Wyndham, based on the network that we're deploying.
Okay,
But as far as the local device that controls the neighborhood and the homes, it will be centrally located, close enough to the home that it's, doesn't have issues.
no, okay, no
Signal,
significant signal.
yeah, no
drop,
signal
right.
degradation whatsoever in that.
And this network is owned or driven by Spectrum?
Correct.
Okay.
100%.
For customers that are currently Windstream customers with in-ground,
Mhm.
okay, is that something on your horizon, or is that gonna be addressed as well?
So the Windstream plant, we wouldn't have any involvement there with that piece. Now, if you're a Windstream customer today and we're in the neighborhood and you want to switch to a Spectrum customer, then
There's just no above-ground cables in our neighborhood.
it would be buried underground.
Everything is buried, so it'd have to be buried, but that means that it would come at a later date than your current time window?
So the time window that we have right now is mid to late December, and it should all be done within that time window. So you're probably.
Oh, so even the buried for the existing Windstream?
Yeah, so Windstream is not a part of this equation, it's just the Altice. So
Right.
if the Altice plan passes by your home now, we would be burying that in that area as well
Okay.
to upgrade that infrastructure.
Would there be charges associated with access to that fiber?
So just your typical subscription fees when you do become a
Right.
customer, but not as far as for us, not a,
But no charge to
for us
bury
to
your...
put that
Okay.
infrastructure in now.
All right, that's all. I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh,
mean
no,
that.
you're good, you're good.
Anybody else have any questions? Yes.
The cost of the subscription fee, how does that compare to Windstream?
And I would have to apologize, unfortunately, I'm more on the construction end of the
Okay.
business rather than the sales and
Do you have
installation.
an idea what the subscription fee would be for just straight internet, nothing else?
Sure. First of all, spectrum prices are the same in all 41 states that we're in. So whatever we charge in New York or Alabama, we charge the same thing in Auburn Township. Prices may range from $30, $50 to $100 depending on what type of speed you want. If you want a very low speed and you meet certain criteria, you could get a speed for people who may not have all of the financial means they need just to get some basic internet, and that would be 50 by 10 internet service. So that's the least expensive product that we have. Then you go up to 100, 300, 500, and get 1 gig of service. So if you want, I can find those numbers out and then call you tomorrow with specific numbers, or you can go to the Spectrum website and then it'll pull up whatever package you want, the speed that you want, and it'll tell you what you want, what you're paying.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
My experience lately that most of the internet companies are staying somewhat competitive.
Yeah.
The sales here, buy it for 5 years, but nobody's coming in now and charging 12 times as much because
No,
nobody
not
just
at all,
won't
you
pay.
wouldn't have, yeah, you wouldn't have any customers in that case.
Yeah, since the pandemic, a lot of people have gotten in, but it's a lot of competition now. So we have to be competitive in this industry.
Okay.
Not
Yes.
being familiar with the fiber optic question, we live on the main road, and I'm not sure if you're putting the fiber optic here on Auburn Road in particular, and we currently do have Windstream, so if we were to get into, say Windstream goes fiber optic, do they put their own cable in,
Mhm.
or are they attaching
No,
onto
they're-
yours?
They're their own entity.
Okay,
They
so,
would put their own.
all right.
Spectrum does not share any of our technology. Anything that deals with Spectrum is Spectrum by itself. Sometimes you find companies who attach to some people, they're in the middle now, and they might say, oh, let us use your fiber to attach and get
Mhm.
to the home that we need to get to. We don't do that. We build all of our own technology. We're responsible for it. If it breaks down, we repair it. So Spectrum is just 100% Spectrum.
Question. Is there a maximum distance from the road to the house? Because I know there's some long driveways, like Optimum wouldn't push any further than 300 feet.
Yeah, so if it's being upgraded to fiber, the distance become a little better for us. It could go as high as 1,600 feet off the roadway. With the coax plan, it has a little bit different limitation, and that's probably what
Right.
Altice had.
Right.
Is, once you get above 400 feet, you have to build a heavier infrastructure to get that distance and maintain the integrity of the plan.
Okay.
So you say it's not symmetrical?
Right now, it's not symmetrical, but it will be when we complete the evolution project.
So what's the maximum upspeed then?
The maximum upspeed, I need to know this off the top of my head. I'm gonna look at my phone real quick while you all ask Neil some more questions, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
I got one more question.
Sure.
Did anybody but Spectrum get any chunk of that federal money that came to Ohio? In our area, I guess. I don't care.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how that was distributed. I know Spectrum was a very aggressive bidder in those spectrums, but as far as the other entities that may have gotten,
There were a lot of companies who did receive part of the RDOF money that came in a long time ago. Spectrum got the majority of the grants across the state of Ohio. That information is listed on Broadband Ohio's website. So if you want to see who won what in RDOF, Orbeg Round 1 or Orbeg Round 2, Broadband Ohio's website keeps a list of all of that information.
Okay.
And they also keep a list of who won what grants and what communities actually got it. So give me 1 second.
Excuse me, is there a website we should be going to for updates on scheduling, timing, when you anticipate areas?
So if you're a current Altice customer, you'll get a notification letter. If you're not, you'll get some kind of mailer as far as Spectrum is now available, something along those lines that will give you.
Okay, so there's no place to go look, I'll be notified of that.
Yeah, you'll get some notification.
So you handle the pricing, or you do not handle the pricing?
I do not personally, as far as my forte, I guess it's more in the
I know
construction.
I know Spectrum is big on no contract, so, and in the past, I've known people to have Spectrum in the city, where they came out with a price, and then within a year, they bumped them up in price 2 to 3 times in a year.
Yeah. As far as that piece of it, like I said, I would love to share that information
Okay.
with you and some feedback, but I don't.
And pretty soon they're paying over $200 a month.
Yeah.
Yes, that information, our sales team, we have a whole sales team. We have a sales team for business, we have a sales team for residential customers. So that is all held or taken care of in another department. And what happens is, if there is a price increase, we send letters to the local government officials to let them know that the price for your internet package or your cable package is going to be going up so much, and we tell you exactly what date is going to happen. But yes, I have heard that from a lot of people, that once you get that initial package, it goes up, and that does happen on a regular basis. So, but,
It's not necessarily what we see, what we're gonna pay.
No.
We probably expect it to go up in a year.
well, it just depends on what the promotion is.
So when the promotion runs out, it goes up, and then since there's no contract, it can go up again.
Depending on whatever promotion you have, yes. So, you asked me.
The symmetrical speed up.
Yes. Oh, there is no symmetrical speed up
So,
right
and then I
now.
said, what's the maximum speed?
The maximum speed is 1 gig
That's
download
symmetrical.
speed.
Yeah, that's download.
And they don't have the
They don't have the
symmetrical.
symmetrical.
Nope, but I can get that information back to Nancy tomorrow.
And you said it will eventually be symmetrical?
Yes,
So when they update the DOCSIS systems?
yes.
Okay.
And we started working on that at the end of 2023. Cincinnati, for example, most of Cincinnati is already complete. Other areas across the country are complete. So we're going from location to
So
location.
you're bringing cable and then you're turning it into fiber, right?
We're upgrading, oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
a
we're,
good question.
yeah, so for the Altice upgrade, like I mentioned, if it's currently an Altice plant, we will be upgrading that to fiber. If it's currently an existing Spectrum plant, that's your subscriber to Spectrum currently, that plant is an HFC with integrated fiber as the infrastructure.
Okay.
I'll email Nancy tomorrow about the max
I'll call her.
upload speed. I'll have that to her tomorrow. Any other questions?
I think we're good.
All right,
Very
well.
exciting. Thank you for taking the time to come in
Of
and
course,
talk
and
to
if
the
you guys
board. We
need
appreciate
anything
it.
from us, please, I'm just a phone call away.
Okay.
We like
Did we get
coming
your
out
card?
here.
You have your
I'm
card?
gonna give it to you right now.
We already got yours.
Yeah, we got
She was figured, well, I'll let you take the calls and she's just gonna get out of here all
You can do all
sweet.
my work too. Joseph.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, so for tomorrow, upload speed, and does anybody have addresses, or do you want to figure out tonight whether or not you have questions about the
Like where
addresses?
services is
Yeah.
available or not, I think she has maps in here, it's been a little while.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get that back out and get that out to you so you can.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay,
Can't
so,
say they're fully current, but
Mhm.
it was a year ago maybe.
Yeah, especially your address where they wouldn't service.
They
I would
wouldn't
like
do
to
it.
have that and see.
That's just because they don't like you, that's nothing to do with
I
it.
think it was that exactly.
Thank you.
okay, so yeah, send us, if you have addresses, want to move forward, just let us know, and we'll get right back to you.
And because you've been so nice to come in and talk to us, we're not gonna make you sit here for the rest of the meeting.
We appreciate that. Have a good evening.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for coming.
Take care, have a good night.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, our next guests are Kim and Bobby about the patio grill. But before we go to that, I just want to take a minute here. I know it's an election year and things are being said and this and that. Make a correction here. And Riley, I'm glad you're here. I'm told as you go door to door, one of your issues is the health care benefits that township trustees receive or don't receive. And you're quoting a $50,000 a year amount spent on myself and Mr. Tran for health care. I don't take health care from the township. In fact, I saved the township over $22,000 a year by not accepting the health care program here. I have my own health care. So if you're saying that, I wish you would stop and put so on your webpage that I do not take any health care benefits from the township. Now, if you have a problem with Mr. Troyan taking it, that's between you guys, but I do not take any health care benefits. I save the township $22,000 plus a year by not accepting it. I have my own health care plan. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, it sounds
If you
like-
want to answer, you surely may.
No, that's good. It sounds like you're telling the residents that. I mean, it doesn't affect me as a resident, but 50,000, eye of the beholder. So the healthcare number is critical to think about. What would it cost me or this gentleman to have that type of plan? Okay, you might be eligible for Plan B, for example, might be 10, 12 grand, great. But having a wife, childbearing age, having a child, to get a plan like that would cost me, let's say $1,500 a month. That's a fair number. Times that by 12, add that to the 23,000, boom, you're real close to 50. That's how that number's construed.
That's fine, however you want to figure it. What I'm saying to you is, if you're going door to door saying to the residents that myself and Mr. Troyan are spending $50,000 a year in health care, I'm telling you, I do not take any health care benefits from the township. I save the township, they're eligible for a health care plan here as a township trustee. Mr. Kavanaugh takes them, I believe Mr. Troyan takes, I do not take them. I have my own plan. So that 50,000 is not correct. I don't take a health care plan. My concern is not the amount, my concern is if you're telling residents that I'm costing the township the plus 50,000 with Troyan taking the township insurance plan, I don't take it. I'm saving the township over $22,000 a year by not taking it. So if you're telling residents that I am taking it, I'm asking you to please correct that and stop. That's all I'm asking.
So this is the first time you're explaining that to anybody? Well, that's a simple question.
I don't think I need to explain it. I can take the insurance if I want it, but I'm not. If you're telling people I am taking it, that's false. That's not true.
Can we come back to this at the end of the meeting?
We
We've
can,
got some
but
guests
I
here.
just wanted to bring it up because
So
I
as of
think
right
most
now,
of
you're
these people are
telling
leaving.
everybody that.
I'm telling
I'll just take
everybody
30
that I do
seconds,
not.
Gene.
Go ahead,
Just
Mr.
on that.
Troyan.
Yes, Mr. Riley.
That's helpful, thank you.
Okay, I do take the health benefits, and I also take my paycheck too. So if you want to go that door to door, knock yourself out.
Is this still public record? I'm like really confused here.
What? Yes, it's public record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's public record. That's why
You guys
it's.
seem like really upset about this. It's a
No,
very
Well,
simple thing.
when you're being accused of something you don't do, yeah, I take that personally.
Accused?
If you're going
We've got-
door to
we've
door
got- we've
telling
got guests
people I'm
there.
taking health care and costing the township
No one talks
$50,000,
about you
that's not
specifically.
true.
The question's very general. Hey, I don't want this to be personal. This is a quote.
Well, you just made it personal by attacking
A
me.
quote from the resident, nobody attacked you.
I told you early on, you're a nice young man, do your homework. So far, you've showed us you're not doing it.
That's exact, the
Okay.
numbers are exactly homework.
Okay, I'm
All
gonna
right.
intervene here. Can we get to our guests? You guys
Don't
talk
attack
about
me and
this
then I
later.
don't get to
Okay.
defend myself with something.
All right.
That's embarrassing.
All right, right next we have Kim Coonley and Bobby
Maniglia.
Maniglia, I'm sorry, for the patio bar and grill and their judgment entry. Floor is yours.
The judgment entry was actually not against Bobby, that was me and my partners that own the property and the building that the patio bar and grill is on. And two of the three of us are passed away, so I'm the only one left.
Right.
Partners. And I'm just here basically to ask the township trustees to consider that the judgment that was over 11 years ago, the town has changed with a lot of the other facilities that, and restaurants and grills that are in the town now, and the difference in the whole world with the things, crazy things that go on, and we're hoping that you would approve or revise the judgment entry to allow the fence that we have now, which is much safer than a board-on-board fence, 6 feet tall. No one inside can see out, no one outside can see in, and there's a lot of female customers and employees of the bar and grill that go outside at night to get in their vehicles or to come inside. It just seems rather unsafe to me that no one can see anything because they're in this 6-foot-high box. So hoping that you guys would find that realistic to ask to have the fence that is there now approved.
I guess my first question, before we even get into some of these, is why did you take down the 6-foot fence to start with?
To put up the one that is much nicer and looks more friendly.
I can tell you it doesn't look much nicer or safer to your neighbor who's been here to 3 meetings to complain about it.
That's not surprising.
Okay.
Yeah, as Kim said, I remember having a meeting when we hashed this out. And this started with, in my opinion, this all started with when the state banned smoking in bars. So every bar started putting up an outside smoking area. And patio's pre-existing lot of record there, pre-existing business, so they had a right to a small expansion, which was negotiated out, I think, pretty calmly, and, between your uncle, David Andre was the lawyer, pre-Judge David Andre.
Russell.
And was it Al? Was Al in on those meetings? I think? Yeah, that's what I remember too. As you said, it was 11 years ago. The principals are largely gone, still no Kim. I apologize, Mr. Kitco isn't here. He was unavailable. We tried today. He had a previous commitment, and I know he's been pretty much the only point of contact between the township and you guys. So I think what he's asking for is for us to consider, which is reasonable. I don't know if that's something we want to do, but we need to talk to our zoning department and our,
Well, if I recall,
prosecuting
Frank was
attorney.
not in favor of changing any of these agreements that they agreed to when that was done. And there were other issues as far as parking that's not on here. One of the neighbors was complaining about music. And here it says no later than 8 p.m. on weekdays and no later than 10 p.m. on weekends. Now, I'm told that wasn't being adhered to either. Has that
I
changed?
can speak to that.
Please do.
So my son and I purchased the assets of Monk's Patio Lounge last November. We were not aware of any of this.
And I understand that you're not, but it's still
No, I'm just
enforced.
telling you, when it happened, we did not know. So, my apologies, we had no idea that that was in place. So, that was our bad. We just did not know that that existed.
So-
Frank informed me
Yeah, as
that-
soon as we got the letter.
reminded me about the judgment.
Yeah.
I immediately looked it up, and it hasn't happened since, because
No.
I talked to Bobby and said, we
Yeah,
can't,
we were not
that
aware.
can't happen.
Okay, so that has stopped, and I think some of the residents said that has stopped.
It has stopped. I guess, my question is, and this is me personally, nothing to do, but as the business owner, all the other establishments in Auburn have outdoor music. I get like 10 o'clock is reasonable, I have no problem with that. And I think this summer, before we knew this, we had outdoor music for like 3 times. And I know the one night it went late, and again, we did not know. So I guess I would ask for your consideration in allowing us to do what all the other establishments in Auburn are doing. They're allowed to have outdoor music. They don't have 6-foot fences, so that's all. Just from a
They
business
don't
standpoint.
have residents right next to them either.
Well,
And then there was also something with the parking.
Yeah, they do.
Was that-
They most
they do.
certainly
Yeah, they
do
do.
too.
Was
Yeah, they
that-
do. They got residents right next to them, as close as that guy is.
What about the parking? There was an issue on the parking too, wasn't there?
Parking's
Well-
huge.
There's a couple of issues I want
Yeah.
to go through, if you give me a second.
Go ahead.
Okay. Again, I'm just looking at right now, I think we just have to look at the whole picture here. And one thing is, okay, you've got the entrance off the back parking lot, which goes through the gate. Now, that gate was supposed to be just an emergency exit. The gate that comes into the patio off the parking lot?
on the patio? Okay.
Yeah.
It would be on the,
Yeah,
On the
that was
east
supposed to be
side.
an emergency exit. So one thing we want to look at is, not only us, but what are the rules for us from the State Liquor Control Board about, that theoretically, you shouldn't be going in and out through a patio area,
Okay.
okay? I'm just saying, this is
No,
something.
I'm just,
So this is something we need to look at, not only what we have in our agreement, but what does the actual Liquor Control Board say about patios? And now this brings into the issue, okay, if you can't use that as ingress, egress, then you have to go in the front door. We have to go in the front door, you've got side parking. The side parking is pretty close, if not into the road right of way. So if we make people walk to the front door and not through that, they gotta walk down the middle of Wing Road to go in the front door of the thing. So there's a bunch of safety issues and factors of that I think it all has to be looked at as a package right now to say, okay, where do you stand? And you're trying to run a business. You've got a building you're trying to make conform. We have the residents' rights, so, are we gonna make a decision right now to say, yeah, go ahead and do this? I think there's a lot more factors we have to look into and make sure that, like I said, not only in compliance with, what we require, and like I said, as it sits right now, we have a judgment entry. We can just make you put the fence back up. Okay, and we can take everything in a judgment entry and say, okay, this is what you agreed to, you're stuck with. And the fact that we are at least willing to say, okay, let's look at what you brought up, I think that's gonna be a starting point. But again, I've gotta look at the health and safety of everything going on here. And PJ, we had where does the road right of way end up? Didn't we just have
Yeah,
that
we
maybe?
did, a couple months ago, we had county engineer come out and survey that, and boy, it's pretty much on that southeast corner, right to the, tight to the building. Like we might own half a cinder block there even.
So, like I said, if they decided, okay, they're gonna expand Wing Road and it's gotta be done to standards, then, so, again, there's a lot of factors going on here. So we're glad you came in, started the communication. We're not here to put you out of business, we're not here to try to make any of the residents miserable. We're just trying to come up with, I think, what would be the best solution for everyone that's involved, considering neighbors, your business, trying to remain profitable, and again, health and safety of the people that are using the establishment, so that's my 2 cents.
A question.
I got questions.
Go ahead.
So does that mean that you can only use your garage door to get out of your house for an emergency exit? Because it's not technically or what, I mean, this is ridiculous that you can't use that door, the side door to go out to ingress and egress to a parking area.
Well, I don't.
Why would you wanna put people in that situation of walking out into a right of way? You gonna be responsible for that?
That's why I brought that
That's why
issue
you brought it
up.
up,
Well, okay, so
I said
say no
it-
parking there then.
and that may be what it is.
Yeah, that-
Okay, and then, but then you're allowed to ingress and egress through that side door out the patio.
Dave, the reason I brought that up is, we're willing to look at that, but we have to look at what are the requirements of the old liquor control board. We can't control what their requirements are. And in a lot of these patios, I don't know if you've ever been down a Winking Lizard, you have to go in through it, you come out. There's no entrance in and out. There's a couple of them that I've been to, same thing. There's no in and out. So I think that's liquor control that has that established. And the reason for it is to keep people from taking drinks outside of the main portion of the bar.
Right. Hence the fence.
So that's why we said.
But there is a
we're
bar
gonna look
back
at all
there,
this
so
to
why
try to-
couldn't you go through that patio? It's open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, am I correct?
There is a
There
bar back
wasn't even a
there.
patio there before. it was
Why you
outside.
couldn't go in through the back way there to go into that outdoor bar area? To sit
I
outside
mean,
in that bar
things
area,
need to
because that's
change.
open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
The old liquor control stuff is some of that, ancient history. Before COVID, before this, before that, down at the Eagles. Anything on the patio doesn't even count towards the fire, the occupancy and all that kind of stuff.
That's in
And
here.
you can always go out that back gate if, the only reason why they won't let you is because it's a club.
Yeah, but Mike, what Mike says there is, written in this is number 4, it's a generality, which kind of just specifies that it's out of our control.
And as far as the fence goes, this place has never looked so good. In how many years, since the 50s, has it been open? The patio looks
Well,
fabulous. For
I
a
gotta
few
say,
residents that moved to buy a bar, knowing that it's always been a bar.
Since Mike and Marion owned it.
It was
Yeah.
there for, that was part of the agreement for screening. For some reason, if there was some assumption that there was gonna be noise control from a 3-foot fence versus a
Right.
6-foot fence, I don't think it really ever worked.
Right.
But there are specifics in here with,
And there's places here in Auburn where they put a pylon up and they tie a 3/8 rope, string, whatever, and that's their fence to keep the liquor controlled. Now,
once again, that's out of our,
well, I know, but I'm saying we're just apples to apples here, and
Yeah, like I said, that's why we want to look at it, because it's not a liquor control issue, then we know that, then it's strictly on us, and we can make the decisions there from our vantage point, as opposed to having you, we're easy to work with, we're a lot easier to work with than the liquor control board, trust me.
you guys have looked over the judgment entry, you have?
I have, they sent
Okay.
it to me, after I realized that there was one.
I mean, it's, well, yeah, I understand, it's been, that happens as time moves on, yeah, I get that.
It's zone commercial, correct?
No, that is residential, and that is a pre-existing business though.
It's
So
grandfathered
it's
in.
grandfather.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
So
from like
well,
the bar's
we try not
been
to use that term, but that's pretty.
The business has been there long before the houses.
Yes, correct.
And one thing about a grandfathered property is it's grandfathered for that use, but you can't expand more than, I don't know, what was 10%.
It was 10%. Frank's been real, our zoning department's been real reasonable with that over the years, and I think they worked both your own.
But again, that's why we managed to get a judgment entry to allow them to have a patio, because they were expanding beyond, it was a good amount of expansion, so it was kind of concession to say, okay, we're gonna let you have a patio. And at the time, it was because, you're right, people couldn't smoke in bars anymore, so what you got? You got a bunch of people standing out on East Washington Street smoking. It's like, it became again, a health and safety issue to say, okay, yeah, well, let's put someplace out back where these people are not standing in harm's way to, so, That's how that all came about, and why it's a judgment entry as opposed to just straight across the board, you can build it.
Is there a noise ordinance in Auburn Township?
We do have a noise ordinance, I think it's about 4 or 5 years old now.
Okay.
But that's only between industrial or in, commercial and residential. Since this is all residential
Yeah.
property,
That's true.
it wouldn't apply.
So there is no.
I don't know.
Your
It
vantage point?
applied to
No.
the party center.
That's true.
So
It
where did
applied
10
to the
o'clock
party
come
I'd
center.
have to look at that. That's a recent.
It was in the judgment entry, the
Yeah.
10 o'clock.
But that
Well,
judgment
yeah,
entry
but
was against the Unk's patio,
The
correct?
time, you know, I
The old
circled,
ones.
there's 3 of them that are pretty specific. One is the fence and the height of the fence. 2 is, shall not permit performance of live music on the patio. And number 6 is, the third one that's specific, is no later than 8 PM on weekdays and no later than 10 PM on weekends for those outdoor speakers. So those are the 3 specifics. Everything else is kind of generalities.
Was there something about a fence around the garbage, was it a dumpster?
Not in this,
No.
not in this, no. No.
I don't know, isn't it, again, I don't think that was part of the judgment entry, it's just, I don't know if there's a requirement to enclose some state requirement for a business to have the dumpsters enclosed, I
Old
don't know
Star.
that. Hmm?
Old Star.
Yeah, 'cause I mean,
I don't know, people like to use my dumpster to dump their garbage in, so.
Yeah, that's a popular thing to do.
we've got a few of them ourselves, and, no, well,
All right, so moving on, what are we looking at here? I guess ingress egress from the bar is something that maybe we should consider, because now that we know where the right of way is, yeah, essentially, you're gonna get people walking down the street on
yeah.
the east side of that building.
So, I mean, that would be one of the things we'd look at, say, okay, no more parking on the side of the building, just leave that as a safe walkway for,
It's
there's
mostly
plenty of
employee,
parking
it's
out there.
employee parking there for the most part, those are all, like, most of those spots are taken up by
It
employees.
is, but now that we know.
No, I'm just saying,
who
that
owns
would
what.
not be, I mean, I don't have a problem.
But again, if that becomes the main parking lot in back, which it basically is
It
because of the
is.
size of it,
Yeah.
then we have to look at letting people be able to
Get in the
enter in there.
building.
So again, to make
Yeah.
sure, see what would have to be done to allow that within the Board of Liquor Control standards.
And I think the height of that fence would work into that same, don't you think?
Yeah.
If we're gonna adjust the ingress, egress, that, however that fence fits into the equation.
Well,
We
6
could look
foot
at
versus
that
4
too.
foot, I mean,
Yeah.
the justification from a safe and health.
I don't see
Health and
the,
safety standpoint, I would,
It is a lot
That
safer,
would make-
and we get a lot of families with kids too, and the kids like to go out and play in the yard, and before the parents, now they can see them. But like Kim said, the safety of it for people, like employees walking out at night, I've got a lot of young women that work there at night, and they walk out there by themselves, so now they can see what's out there instead of not knowing what's around the corner.
I don't see much negotiation room in the live music on the patio or the timing. That I know was put in there with, and it was Mike, myself, and John Everly, I think, that negotiated this with you guys. That was kind of like a good neighbor clause, you know what I mean?
no, again,
Windows are open in the evening, 10 o'clock's kind of a cutoff point.
I don't mind the 10 o'clock.
Okay,
But
all
I
right.
have no problem with the 10 o'clock rule at all. But having outside music until 10 o'clock, why can't I do that if the other establishments are? I mean, I realize it's in the judgment entry, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. This was 11 years ago, no one else was here other than the Auburn Inn, and they don't do music. So we don't do it very often. Quite honestly, it's not that big of a deal for us, but every
Okay.
once in a while during the summer, like to be able to do a few special things during the summer, till 10 o'clock out on the patio would be nice.
I'm just trying to get to the point where we're talking about the stuff that's substantive.
Yeah, I know, well, but it kinda is part of the
Okay, I get that
business.
now.
Right.
Yeah, I can't say we're gonna go there, but
No,
I get
just
what you're
just,
talking
you
about.
could consider it, I
Mhm.
appreciate it.
Okay. Are we gonna discuss this with Frank?
Yeah, certainly. Him, the zoning department first, and, you know,
Liquor
any
control standards on the,
ingress and egress for
Ingress
the
and
bar.
egress.
And, you know, eventually, we'll have to go through our county prosecutor if we're gonna amend this at all.
Yeah.
So, they move it like a snail's a little bit faster. But, I get what I understand what you're here for.
I'm glad you came in.
Yeah, I think maybe that ingress egress will end up being the most important thing here, because we don't want people walking down the road.
no.
Well, Appreciate your
Okay,
time.
glad you came in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
And whenever I come there, I always park in front so I get lucky, so it's not really an issue.
Well, you're lucky you get the front parking spots, which we fill up fast.
Well, it's a great burger, I can tell you that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Do I have this star?
Thanks. You too.
Okay,
We're trying.
we have some minutes approval.
God over here, Denny.
The regular meeting from October 6th. Are there any additions, corrections?
Nope, I found them lengthy and entertaining, but I will make a motion to,
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second?
Mike,
yes,
PJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes. All right, we had 3 public hearings. We started at 6:15. The first one, we have minutes for the public hearing for ZC 25-01. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
I think everything was explained pretty concisely by
No, we did it
Dennis and
twice.
Dave. They answered all of our questions. I have no additions or,
With that, I'll accept the motion.
so, motion to approve ZC 2025-01, water management and sediment control.
Well, I had considered this is 01, was this, and this is what we discussed with Dave Dietrich, our consultant.
We're just discussing the minutes right now, PJ.
Okay, all right.
You second? We haven't
Yes.
voted on it yet.
You got, this was minute approval. right?
Yes, that's all it
Okay.
says.
All right, then I'll second
Okay,
that motion.
go ahead.
Mike,
Yes,
PJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes. All right, public hearing ZC 2025-02, October 6, 2025. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
No, sir. I will make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Mike,
Yes,
PJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes. Okay, public hearing ZC 2025-03. Are there any additions or corrections?
nope, I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Yep, there is.
Go ahead.
Mike,
Yes,
PJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes. Okay, so, do you want to go on and either our approval or denial of those hearings, or do you want to do that when we get to new business and finish the rest of the agenda? It's up to you guys.
Well, let's get the chief in here. He's
All right,
been
let's
waiting
do that.
patiently.
Okay, Chief John Phillips,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
you're welcome.
Okay, report of calls from January 1st of this year to September 30th. EMS calls were at 476. The previous year at that time is 473. Fire calls this year is 318. Previous year was 308. Total calls was 794. Previous year was 781. Mutual aid given is 203. Previous year was 180. Mutual aid received was 108. Previous year was 48. Total transports was 323. Previous year was 319. Total non-transports was 200. Previous year was 189. Total transfer to other agencies was 5. Previous year is 1. Total patients was 528. Previous year is 509. Our back-to-back calls, which means calls that come in on top of one another, we're running at 25.44%. Previous year is 22.4. We're up on that. Any questions on the report of calls?
Anyone from the board have any questions for the chief? Are there any residents that might have a question for the chief?
Gene, I got a couple more things.
Can we
Okay.
get a copy of that?
Yeah, sorry I didn't get it to you this afternoon. We installed a new station camera system, which is part of our security, especially since we have drugs on station. It helps us maintain our drug license. It was a 12-year-old system before. It was failing, we upgraded it to a newer system, which is pretty much complete. We're also sharing that camera down at the fuel tanks with the road department superintendent, so he can watch the fuel tanks when he chooses on his phone. And not only that, but he can also log in and see what the weather's doing at our location. So there's some positive benefits to having a new system. We also have upgraded, finally got our website repaired, and we have a new website, which is auburnfd.org. The old one is .com. We're still making changes and addressing some issues, but it's online, it's starting to move ahead. We're very pleased to announce that. Finally got that resolved.
I'll say it looks pretty good. He lists all the trucks, all the apparatus, gives a brief history of the fire department up to a certain point, but it looks really good.
Thank you, Dan. With that being said, I wanted to give an update on our grant program. Mr. Blazer is here to bring you up to speed on that. Mr. Blazer?
Certainly. Dan, the reason the history only goes up so far is I picked that out of the 50th anniversary book that we created, so that's what I had on file, and I dropped that in there, so that's why that's there. Grants, they spoke about it earlier with the internet companies there. We were lucky enough to be notified earlier this month that we received a little over $23,000 from FEMA for the Assistance to Firefighter Grants Program. It's a grant we've been working on since January of this year. It's a very competitive program and requires a little bit of behind-the-scenes work between operations, who has to determine the need, some of the administrative folks, we have to produce, submit budgets, we have to submit cost-benefit analysis. It's a little bit of a project. That money is to purchase 3 of these, which are thermal imaging cameras, and these are going to replace 2, we have 3 of them we were able to purchase. This is going to replace 2 obsolete units that we currently are using right now, and one of them is to the fact that you gotta almost keep it plugged in because the battery won't take a charge anymore, so they're due. So we were very excited to get that. That came on the coattails. I'm referring to my notes just so I get it right. One other thing, on the 23,000, we might get some better pricing, so we'll see if we can knock it down a little bit. The department has to match funds in a case like this, and that's 5% in the case of a FEMA grant. So you're looking about $1,100 it's going to cost us, or you. So we're working with Bureau of Workers' Comp. 4 or 5 years ago, we got a grant from them, newer technology in the structural firefighting gloves and what they call the barrier hoods, which are what we wear over the turnout mask and under the helmet. They have washable ones now, so we were successful in outfitting all the fire turnout people with 2 sets of gloves, 2 sets of hoods that can be laundered in between use. And this is in an effort to cut down on cancer, effects on the guys.
Carcinogens?
Sorry?
Carcinogens?
Carcinogens, that there too. Yeah, that's a fancy word. Total project cost for there is about $13,000. Workers' comp's throwing 11 grand into the pot, so we're doing this whole thing for 2 grand, which I thought is a win in our book. It's been a pretty decent year for us. We're gonna be receiving over $3,600 from the state for their EMS, what they call the Priority 1 grant, and that's reimbursing us for, we had to purchase batteries for the life pack monitors, for, several other pieces of equipment, and some updated stethoscopes so that, the EMTs and medics can do their thing. So, nutshell, we got 3 projects, total projects estimated are about $36,000 for 2025, and our cost to bring all those to fruition is gonna be about $3,000. I think that is worth what we put into it. Like I say, it's a lot of work. I know the bug the treasurer. Dan can attest to when he was treasurer, I'd be constantly like, I need the copy of the invoice for this one, I need a copy of the canceled check. They're pretty tight on that as far as doing the down. And I have to give a shout out to Firehouse Subs. They also have a grant program. So we're still waiting to hear back on that one. We put in a grant application for battery-powered smoke ejection fans, and we're waiting to hear back on that. We haven't heard yet. So, but anyway, so that's I'll have this after the meeting if everyone wants to take a look at it. Thermal imaging is not new technology. You can get cheap ones at Home Depot for $150. These are kind of rated and approved to, go into, bad situations, but it's not just for fire. You can take this out in the parks and look for somebody who misplaced themselves out in the woods, if they got lost or something like that. There's a lot of things, finding, things behind walls and above ceilings as far as overheated ballasts or furnace motors or stuff like that. So it's a very valuable tool, and we're glad that we came up into this century's, use of these. So, all right, any questions from the board?
What's the range for outdoors?
I don't know, but it's significant. You can walk down the trail and, the park down here, but if somebody's within eyesight, it'll pick it up, so. So, anyway, audience questions, anything? Perfect, thank you. I'm trying to keep it short because I know you had a bunch of people.
Zip our report, thank you, Mr.
Okay,
Blazer.
thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. It is. Okay, we're gonna go on to trustees' reports, and we'll start with Mike Troyan.
Okay, just a couple of things I wanted to go over. We have the new zoning secretaries for the board and also for the zoning commission. Sarah McMullen was bonded, so I think we should get the new girl bonded as well. And typically the zoning secretary or the BZA secretary is not bonded because she doesn't handle any money.
She doesn't handle any money, but she does have access to this building.
Right, so it'd be my recommendation to bond her as well, only because it doesn't cost us anything to do it, and it's probably just the business. Because when the issue came up this morning, I went through and see who all was bonded, what the issues were. So all of us are bonded, Rain's bonded, Nancy's bonded, Jane's bonded, Frank's bonded. Who's not?
I think the potential for the commission secretary and the BZA secretary, they both have to handle money. Commission, if an amendment is initiated, which doesn't happen very often, but it does.
Right.
And of course ZBA with any hearings.
You also have to take a look at the road superintendent is required to be bonded, which brought up the issue, should we have Mark be bonded also, since he will be acting in that position when Mike isn't there. There'll be another one we should probably, and then we may have one employee left who was actually bonded.
They call that something else now? Because I remember that was a big process when I first ran for trustee, and now it was...
Faithful performance something
it's called
now,
something else.
which is, we've exercised that here.
Duty of faithful. performance or something.
Yeah. Used to be a bond, now it's a faithful performance, which we've used. Yep, so. It's a little less cumbersome, I think, to do it now than it used to be, Dan, because you used to have to be sworn in when you're bonded.
Right.
So, I kinda agree with Mike, I think,
It's just,
Let's just do it.
let's just do it.
Anything
Okay.
else, Mike?
And one other thing, it was, number here. Colleen Sharp, who is the head of the Girl Scout Unit 778. I don't know if you remember, they were unable to make it to roadside cleanup day. And turns out this Saturday, this previous Saturday, Colleen and 15 others went out and they picked up trash all along the new ramp and all in that area, and picked up like four bags of trash to get that cleaned out, kind of like, because they felt bad they didn't make it for pickup day, so I just wanted to thank them and for coming out and sticking their guns and coming out and help us out in that little situation. So.
Good for them, I'd have passed on that.
Yeah, me too, but, you know.
Did you go
that's
cook up
us.
some hot dogs?
Yeah, I felt bad, I should have run some. If I'd known on Saturday, I probably still would have.
Okay.
All right, that's all I had.
Mr. Kavanaugh?
couple things here is, Gene, you might know about this, because I didn't talk to Nancy
I
until.
doubt it. Go ahead.
I talked to her before this came in today. Prosecuting attorney says the township should not be allowing activity on the property that violates the agreement with WRLC, like Western Reserve. Is that the lawn mowing thing?
Yes, and I think she's way off base with that. I mean,
I thought we were
why
way
is it bad
beyond- I
to
thought we
have
were
it
way
on
beyond this
file that
already.
says they're cutting their property? So you can say, okay, just don't cut it. Well, what if they keep cutting it? Then what? You need something in the file that says they know that it's our property. And that's, the Land Conservancy wants that more than we need it, but
Well, I mean, did the Land Conservancy tell us specifically what they require of us to do?
he suggested that we have a letter of agreement that they understand, and they said, sign off that, yes, they're cutting that grass, but it's not theirs. Because 25 years from now, if they keep cutting it, and nobody says anything, they can claim that property's theirs.
At first possession.
All right, for anybody here, that's neighboring properties to the parkland. People mow their backyards and they're edging over a little further into township property. Why, I don't know, but they are. And there's also, I think the key piece actually is that one where we traded that piece of land for the parking lot area.
And that has to remain natural.
That's
non-negotiable.
that's with them, that's not our, we don't have any control over that, that needs to stop. It's not the work. We never gave any permission to do that, but Conservancy wants that to stop. The other ones, I'm not sure they're all that. And like Gene said, we'll just send a letter making these people aware that they're
That's it, just a
mowing
simple.
property that's not theirs.
Obviously, the prosecutor's not gonna help us on it, so just write a letter. I'll sit with Susan, we'll conduct a letter, and we'll have, did I say?
You did.
Nancy, I know.
Okay.
You know what I mean.
All right, so we got a street light put up, it only took 9 months, so, you know, almost as long as it takes to get a baby. They put one up over at Bartholomew and 44. I think we had one there before, and I think when they did that bridge, it somehow got taken down and not reinstalled, but it's back. All right, the other thing is at the last meeting, we hired Thad, the last name is Wojo, something. That's his email too.
Some Irish name.
And he started today, I
He did.
believe.
Yes.
And,
He's gotta be happier than.
that was on a Monday, and on that Friday, we had another employee leave. He went back to Kirtland, which is where we hired him from a year plus ago. So we are in a never-ending cycle of hiring. We've got ads out, Dan, and you guys, I think, saw this on the text chain today, that we have 2 guys scheduled to come in at the end of the meeting tonight, and one canceled because he took he canceled because he took a job elsewhere, and the other fellow's postponed. He's gonna talk to either me or Fenstermaker in the morning. And this second guy I'm talking about was interested in, he's retired from, I think, City of Cleveland, and he was interested in just snow plowing for the week, which we used to hire John Zoka to do exactly that same thing way back when, so. So we're still on the hunt.
Stay on top of that one.
We're still on the hunt for that, so. That's all I got.
Okay, Dan,
All right, since our last trustee meeting, October 6th, I processed 11 electronic payments totaling $47,731.23, and 19 warrants totaling $9,885.03, for a total of $57,616.26. And that's all I have.
wow. Okay. All right, old business. As we talked about the minutes, we've already approved the minutes for these amendments, and now we're gonna discuss each one individually, whether we're going to adopt it, deny it, or adoption of modifications of recommendations of the zoning board. So let's take ZC 2025-01, which has to do with the water management and sediment control. So the question before the board is, do we want to adopt it, deny it, or adoption of modifications?
Okay, we had the continuation of our public hearing at the last meeting, 6th, and we also had, I believe, 2 members of our zoning commission here.
Yes,
And as well as a consultant that we hire
Right.
from time to time, David Dietrich, former Charter County Planning Director. This was the one specific thing that David was kind of leaning towards, maybe we should adopt this modification. And this is the amendment that refers to getting us on the same page as soil and water as far as NPDES permits and EPA things. All right, so I'm going to propose this modification, section 3.05C4. There's a reference to the Ohio NPDES permit should be changed more to something more general, such as, and this is the language I'm proposing, the most recent version of the Ohio EPA construction general permit. The feeling was that it was a bit more specific than it needed to be.
so on this form, if we're going to adoption with modifications, we'll need to write in there, when we fill this out, set forth modifications, if any, what PJ just added to
Yeah,
it.
it's right there in the planning commission
All right.
letter, and what this is gonna do is prevent, this amendment from being null and void if, out of our control, the EPA changes their general permit.
So this is adoption with modification.
Yes.
Is there a motion to accept that?
So I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mike,
Yes.
EJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes. Okay, the second one is EC 2025-02 that has to do with outdoor dining. Adoption, denial, adoption of modification.
You know, once again, discussed with our consultant, who I have a lot of faith in, and our commission, which I also do. Discussed in public session, and I'm in favor of adopting that amendment as is.
And a second.
There's been a motion and a second.
Mike,
Yes.
EJ,
Yes.
Gene.
Yes. sorry, the modification.
Yeah.
Okay, the third one is ZC 2025-03 that has to do with storage containers and miscellaneous. Adoption, denial, adoption of modifications.
Well, I'm gonna say, based on the exact same thing I said about the last amendment, I have faith in our commission, and I have faith in our consultant, and I'm going to make a motion that we adopt 03.
I'll second.
Mike,
Yes.
EJ,
Yes.
Gene,
Yes. Okay.
and that was as is, right?
Yes,
The
the
last
two-
two
the
were
last two
as
were
is.
as is.
The only modification was on 01.
Okay, new business, accepting letters of interest from residents wishing to serve a one-year term as an alternate on the zoning commission or zoning of appeals. I think we have that sheet where, who's up?
She's got the sheet
Yeah,
out here.
the sheet.
She saw it. Pulsford on commission. David Parker, I think, on ZBA, as well as the alternates.
Joe?
Doug Hogan is going to be moving with the township.
Where's Hogan?
Oh,
Doug Hogan is moving?
Where's he going?
Smaller house, I think he said. I
Yeah,
can't remember where. I
downsizing.
don't remember where.
All right, well, we have two alternates, Varney and Timmons. All right, so we're just announcing that, are we putting it in the paper?
He hasn't left yet, has he? Has he told us a date certain yet?
Who's that?
No.
Hogan? No, I didn't think so. So who's up is it Jeff Pulsford on commission?
Jeff Pulsford, Greg Lackey, Angela Daughtry.
Yes, those are the alternates,
Yeah.
and then David Parker
They've
at
all been
the end
notified.
of his term.
Parker, Varley, and Ben.
Timmons. And
And
then
then on the
if you can-
KCE is Justin Yates.
There's some thought that Justin, I think he's done at least 2 terms there, maybe more, that he might want to move on.
Okay.
So, ads are out, and
The ads are out.
I
Okay.
trust we'll find some people.
Okay,
Is there a date on the letter of interest, when they have to have it by?
well, I would imagine we would make those announcements at the organizational meeting.
No, I mean a letter of.
Letter of interest. Dan, I'm gonna say this, I'm sure it's the same letter that we send out every year with the names and the dates changed. So I'm sure timing wise.
Everyone's been-
Right, yeah.
No.
Everyone, well, Mike
Sam-
Varley, according to this, he's already received his letter of interest.
That he wants back.
See, yes.
Yeah,
So everybody's been notified.
No.
yeah, I'm sure the date certain is on,
Okay.
this happens every year, so.
All right, we already talked about the school, or the Kenston Community Education Board. Okay. Save the date, Board of Trustees regular meeting, administration building is 7 o'clock on November 3rd. On November 4th, you get to vote at Adam Hall from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Also on 11/4, Board of Zoning Appeals will meet at the administration building at 7. On 11/11, Veterans Day is observed. On 11/13, Zoning Commission will meet at 7 o'clock at the administration building. And again on 11/17, the Board of Trustees regular meeting right here at 7 o'clock. Is there any other comments or anything from the people on the board? Is there anyone here that would like to address the board? Anybody? Mr. Riley.
So to clarify, people aren't asking about you specifically. There's 1,300 townships in Ohio. It's a very generalized question. What does a trustee get paid? That's literally how it's presented to me.
It's based on your budget.
Thank you. So I explain it, we go through all 3 parts, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. So to be honest with you, out of everyone that I talk to, no one knows that you're even campaigning, literally. So for you to sit there and attack me over
Not attacking
a
you,
hearsay,
I'm just
and then
saying.
interrupt me nonstop,
If you're
like you're
used
saying
to,
doing.
go ahead.
Thank you. So, I asked you a simple question. is that the first time you told anybody you don't receive health care benefits? And you didn't answer.
I don't think it's important. It
Right.
wasn't important until you said to people that I was accepting it.
Excellent, I'm glad you brought it up. So no one was talking about you, as I just said. People don't know you're running, there's 1,300 townships. It's a generalized question. So for you to attack me about what you're doing that you didn't disclose makes no sense.
Maybe I'm not making myself clear. If you're going door to door, and one of your key points is saying that Mike and I are spending $50,000 of township money on health care benefits, that's not true.
No shit.
I'm not taking any benefits.
Yeah, nobody said that.
Well, that's what I'm hearing you're telling people.
So we went over all three sections a minute ago. Whatever hearsay that healthcare is 50,000 is not what you're hearing, because that's ridiculous.
I'm hearing that you're telling residents that between Mike and I, the township spends $50,000 a year on health care benefits for us too. I don't take health care benefits. That's the only point I'm making. If you're telling people exactly that, like the way I worded it, I'm asking you to stop, because it's not true. That's the only thing I'm suggesting.
Yeah, so I'm not campaigning for you, and nobody knows you're running. So to clarify this general question, no one said, hey, what does McCune get paid? No one said that because they don't know you're running. So,
They'll know I'm running when
That's great.
they vote.
I hope they all vote. But the generalized question of how a trustee gets paid, it's really good to clarify that and tell the people how it works when they ask, because they have no clue. But nobody was talking about you specifically.
You know,
And I want to clarify that.
I've got to interrupt 1 second. Questions like that are easily found up on the Ohio Revised Code.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can go look that up. You can ask anybody.
It comes right up on Google, you're right.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's public information,
Yeah,
you know? You can find out what everybody makes. I mean,
Correct.
it's public information. You can find that out. There's
so
no
it's an easy,
secrets.
it is an easy 20-second conversation when they ask. They just clarify. They say, what does somebody get paid there? And I don't say, well, gosh, I don't know. I wouldn't tell them that. But just like you said, since the facts are right there, I explain it briefly, they go, oh, okay, cool, on to the next thing. So it's never directed towards you at all, never once.
Thank you.
And Riley,
Awesome.
if you do get elected, will you be taking the salary and the healthcare benefits?
So actually, the salary of roughly 21,000 plus,
How much?
the OPERS, 107 times 200, is that right? 104, I gotta look. But the 200-day per diem times the 107.
Yeah, it's roughly 20 grand.
14%, so 23,000 cash. I want to donate, and since the government shut down, there's actually a lot of talk about it on the federal level, so I've been watching that. Now on the Ohio level, donations can influence, so it's a little more tricky, but watching like our reps, our congressmen, they're donating it all over the place, so nobody's attacking them over influencing. So I want to look more into the donation aspect. But if it really comes down to it, and it just has to go right back into the Auburn coffers, that is the last resort that I already decided I would do. But I'd like it to be more meaningful if I can do it legally. So I'm going to call the township board about it and ask them, how do I structure it as a donation to maybe put a poll out there, let the residents decide, break it up 4 ways, $5,000 to animal protection, $5,000 to this, and try to structure it so it's a little more interesting than just throwing it right back in the township money. But if I have to, I'm more than willing to do that. So there's 2 parts to it, to answer your question.
Interesting.
Is there anyone else? With that, I'll
Thanks for asking.
take a motion.
You know, when I first ran, I had no idea the job even paid anything.
There you go.
So,
Me neither.
I guess times have changed.
I'm a firm believer if I wanted to do volunteer work, I'd become a candy striper.
There you go.
They don't have the outfits my size.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
There is.
So,
Is there a second?
I will second.
There you go.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ.
Yes. Adjourn. Thank you all.